Welcome to the A Guiding Light YouTube channel.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex info and really pull out those key nuggets of knowledge for you.
That's the goal.
And today we're diving deep into the world of 12-step recovery workbooks.
Right. For anyone on the path to sobriety, finding the right tools, the things that really support your journey, it's just crucial.
Absolutely. And these workbooks, they offer structured guidance, prompts for, self-reflection, practical exercises. They can really make a difference.
Yeah, they really can. So our mission today, our deep dive, is to explore several distinct workbooks, all designed to help with the Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step program.
Okay.
We're going to break down what makes each one unique, highlight the benefits, and help you understand how these different approaches might support different parts of recovery.
Like understanding triggers or maybe daily spiritual practice.
Exactly. Stuff like that. We've looked at 5 specific workbooks to give you a hopefully comprehensive overview of how these tools can, potentially transform that recovery journey.
All right, sounds good. Let's start with one that sounds pretty comprehensive, like a daily companion. It's A Powerful 12-Step Workbook with Trigger Tracker and Self-Care Check-ins.
Okay, yeah. That one's by Diana Leah and the Bold and Brave imprint.
Right. And it aims to be a full-spectrum resource. It's got a solid rating, too, 4.5 out of 5 stars from, 245 global ratings. So people seem to like it.
Yeah, that's a good sign. And what's really insightful about this one, I think, is how it integrates the recovery work into daily life.
How so?
Well, it doesn't just, throw you into the steps right away. It starts with these thought-provoking introductory questions.
Oh.
Really gets you reflecting on your personal why,
Yeah.
that kind of foundational work to ground your commitment before you get into the heavier stuff.
That makes sense. Grounding yourself first. And it gets practical fast, right? I noticed this trigger tracker. That seems like a standout.
Definitely.
It's not just jotting down what sets you off, is it? If it sounds more systematic.
It really is. It's designed to help you understand where your triggers come from, see the patterns, and then hopefully learn how to alter your reactions, gain some control.
And that data feeds right into step 4, the inventory.
Exactly. It gives you concrete stuff to work with for that crucial step. It's a really practical self-management tool built right in.
That's smart. What else does it have?
Well, beyond the trigger tracking, there's an 11-week daily journal section. It's designed for quick, 5-minute entries.
Oh, okay. Manageable.
Yeah, covers daily goals, failures, successes. But the thing that really jumps out are the personal care check-ins.
Ah, I saw those. Simple things, right?
Super simple, but profound. Like, did we shower today? Did we eat enough?
Yeah.
How many hours did we sleep?
Yeah.
Did we read Recovery Lit? Did we go to a meeting? Call someone sober?
Wow. The real basics.
The absolute basics that often get overlooked, especially in early recovery when just functioning can be tough.
Yeah.
It highlights that physical and mental well-being are part of this too.
That's so important. It's nice to see a tool emphasize that holistic care, not just the spiritual side. What about the steps themselves? Steps 1 to 9.
Yeah, for those, the workbook gives you personal thoughts from the author, Diana Leah, and then supportive questions for each step. Plus, there's dedicated space for writing down questions you might have for your sponsor or maybe a recovery counselor. It encourages that dialogue.
It facilitates the conversation. That's good.
And the Step 4 inventory section is pretty extensive. It actually offers 10 different lists.
10 lists.
Yeah, including 3 they call gentle lists. They're designed to kind of balance mental wellness with the, let's face it, often really challenging process of self-assessment in Step 4. It's a nuanced approach.
That sounds thoughtful. And does it support the later steps too?
It does. It wraps up with a 4-week, full-page daily journal, specifically for practicing steps 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis.
The maintenance steps.
Exactly. And those pages continue the personal care check-ins and also add space for acceptance and gratitude. So it really encourages ongoing growth.
It seems very thorough. And the publisher, the Bold and Brave.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning they were founded by someone in recovery for people in recovery. That personal experience really seems to inform the practical, sort of empathetic approach.
You can feel it.
Yeah. And the fact that it's apparently trusted by sponsors and even treatment facilities, that adds some weight to its effectiveness, I think.
Okay, so that first one, the A Powerful Workbook, offers a really broad daily toolkit. Very comprehensive.
Definitely.
But what if someone's looking for something maybe more focused, like specifically on organizing the step work itself, or maybe really digging into the big book?
Right. Different needs. Well, let's look at a couple that offer those more focused approaches.
Okay. First up, another one from the Bold and Brave, This is the A 12-Step Workbook, a 12 steps journal to sobriety and addiction recovery. It's got a long title, but it includes Step 4 worksheets.
Right. This one also has strong ratings, 4.5 stars from over 300 ratings. People call it effective, a good workbook.
So what's its main angle?
Its strength seems to be in its systematic approach to the actual step work. You know, the process of going through each of the 12 steps.
Okay.
This journal is really designed to keep all that work organized. Makes reflecting easier and definitely makes it easier to share things with your sponsor.
That organization is key. How's it structured?
Each step gets a 4-page section, and it's packed. The step title, the principle behind it, a prayer, an AA promise related to the step, a quote from the big book,
Wow!
and even an AA cliche, like one of those sayings to think about.
Yeah.
So it gives you lots of different angles for reflection on each step.
That sounds really helpful, actually. Having all that right there for each step. Does it let you personalize it?
Yeah, there's dedicated space at the start of each step section to note down things like recommended readings, what you're currently working on, maybe your favorite quote for that step, and these little call-out boxes for important notes.
So you can track your progress.
Exactly. It empowers you to track your own journey through the steps. And, like the other Bold and Brave one, it includes 10 pages of Step 4 inventory worksheets.
Still emphasizing that crucial self-assessment.
Right. And it also has that 4-week daily journal section for establishing the habit of working steps 10, 11, and 12 daily.
So who's this one really for?
Probably perfect for any AA or NA member who really benefits from, you know, the power of pen to paper.
Yeah.
Someone who likes structure and wants to turn those abstract principles into concrete written work.
Gotcha. Okay, now let's shift gears quite a bit. The third one is George B's Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book Workbook, Working the Program. Rated 4.4 stars from, 536 ratings. This isn't really a step workbook, is it?
No, not in the same way. Its main goal is to help you study the big book itself, the foundational text of AA. Think of it more like a comprehensive study guide.
Okay.
It's useful for newcomers trying to grasp the core ideas, but also for people with more sobriety time who want to do a thorough review and deepen their understanding.
And the author, George B., quite a background. Practicing dentist for 47 years, getting a master's in addiction counseling, sober since 81.
Yeah, remarkable. And his motivation, he says, is that AA principle. You can't keep it unless you give it away. That depth of lived experience, you have to imagine it informs his approach.
Absolutely. So how does the workbook function as a study guide?
It basically asks questions about each chapter of the big book. And it gives you plenty of space to write your answers.
Simple enough.
Yeah, but the design encourages you to go back to the big book, maybe reread sections multiple times to find the answers. The idea is to really drive the material into your understanding through that process.
Active learning.
Exactly. It fosters that deep intellectual engagement with the text, which for a lot of people is really key to getting the program.
And the feedback reflects that.
Yeah.
Users call it a great study guide, gives great insight.
They do. And they appreciate the writing space. But some reviews also point out very clearly, it is not a step workbook.
Right. Important distinction.
Yeah. And it's best used alongside a sponsor. Some sound the questions may be a bit basic or repetitive, so its value is really in that focused immersion in the big book, not guiding you through the actions of the steps.
Okay, good to know. It's a specific tool for a specific purpose.
Precisely. It's about understanding the foundation. Now, let's maybe explore a couple more workbooks that feel more like personal companions, often drawing heavily on the author's own journey.
All right, our fourth one is A Guiding Light AA Workbook, Your Personal Guide to the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous by Dale P. This one's newer, fewer ratings, sitting at 3.3 out of 5 stars currently.
Right. But its core philosophy sounds quite appealing. It's described as a practical companion for working the steps one day at a time.
Okay.
The aim seems to be turning the 12 steps from, maybe abstract ideas into a very structured personal journey, leading from confusion to clarity and spiritual growth, making it tangible.
And it has a unique feature I noticed, sample answers.
Yes, that really stands out. Alongside the guided prompts for each step section, it includes sample answers.
Huh. How does that work?
Well, I imagine it could be incredibly helpful if you're feeling stuck, or maybe unsure how to even start thinking about a particular step or question. It's like having a gentle guide right there.
Like a little nudge.
Exactly. Those samples could give you a starting point, or maybe just a different perspective to help you get deeper insights and maybe build some confidence in your own reflections.
That's interesting. Does it still push for deep reflection?
Oh yeah. It encourages really honest self-reflection with some powerful prompts. Questions like, what does being powerless mean to you? Where has your life become unmanageable? What is your definition of insanity? What would it mean to surrender your will?
Those are the big ones.
They are fundamental, challenging questions designed for genuine introspection, not just surface answers.
And does it connect reflection to action?
It seems to. It talks about moving beyond theory to help users take real action, like listing character defects, planning amends, uncovering those behavioral patterns, and it actively encourages spiritual exploration through it all.
So aimed at internal transformation.
It really sounds like it. And it promotes ongoing growth, too, through suggesting daily practices like prayer, meditation, nightly inventory, seeing those as tools for long-term sobriety.
And the author, Dale P., his personal story seems quite central here.
It does. He's been an AA member since 1986, and he shares a really compelling story, battling addiction, losing everything, getting sober, relapsing, and then building what he calls a more solid foundation.
Wow.
He explicitly says this workbook is the guide I wish I had when I first began. That personal experience, that authenticity seems to resonate. Users mention its simple, concise approach and how it provides great insight to each and every step.
That personal touch can make a big difference. Okay, one more. Let's look at the first 90 days 12-step workbook with Step 10 journal, also by the Bold and Brave, specialized, and 4.5 stars from its initial reviews.
Yeah, this one has a very clear, very crucial focus, that initial period of recovery.
The first 90 days.
Exactly. Which, as anyone who's been through it knows, is often the most challenging, most vulnerable, foundational time in sobriety. Just intense change.
Absolute critical period.
So this workbook offers a structured experience specifically tailored for that window. It recognizes the unique needs someone has when they're just starting out.
That makes a ton of sense. How does it structure that support?
Well, a big part of it is a 3-month daily journal focusing specifically on steps 10, 11, and 12.
The maintenance steps, right from the beginning.
Right from the outset, it encourages getting into that consistent daily practice, embedding those habits early. Plus, it brings back those self-care check-ins we talked about.
Which are arguably even more important in those first 90 days.
Couldn't agree more. That early stage is so delicate. So this workbook seems ideal if you're looking for dedicated, structured support, specifically for those initial critical months, emphasizing daily practice and self-awareness when you need it most.
Another example of a tool designed for a very specific, acute need. Okay, so we've covered 5 quite different workbooks. Let's try and synthesize this a bit. What are the main takeaways when you look at them together?
Well, the clearest takeaway is that there's no single right workbook, right? It really depends on what you need.
Different tools for different stages or focuses.
Precisely. You've got the Bold and Brave series, the AA Powerful, and the AA 12-Step Workbook, offering that comprehensive, structured journaling, integrating triggers, self-care, detailed step guidance. Very thorough.
And then their first 90 days, one narrows the focus right down to that crucial early period.
Right. Acute focus on daily maintenance and foundations. Then you have George B's Big Book Workbook, which is totally different.
Not about working through steps, but understanding the source text.
Exactly. Deep study of the Big Book itself, a powerful companion for absorbing that foundational wisdom.
And finally, Dale P's A Guiding Light, more of a personal, reflective companion.
Yeah, standing out with those thoughtful prompts and the unique sample answers, aiming to be comforting, actionable, drawing on that deep personal recovery experience of the author.
It's really important to stress, though, these are tools, right? Not replacements.
Absolutely vital point. Every source, every description emphasizes these are meant to support your recovery journey. They don't replace having a good sponsor or maybe a qualified counselor.
They empower you to do the work.
Yes, to put pen to paper, engage actively, solidify your understanding and commitment in a way that's tangible and personal. They're aids for self-discovery and discipline within the program's framework.
Helping you internalize the principles based on your own experience.
Exactly that.
So as we've explored, there's a really rich variety of structured tools out there within the 12-step world to help you navigate your own path.
Yeah, whether you're looking for deep self-reflection or maybe that immersive focus on the text, or just dedicated support for a really challenging phase like early recovery.
There's likely a workbook that can be a genuinely valuable companion for you.
So maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over after this deep dive.
Great.
How does that simple, conscious act of writing things down, your thoughts, your experiences, your goals, like these workbooks, how does that transform abstract recovery principles into something concrete, something actionable. How does that process, externalizing what's going on inside, actually help build a more resilient foundation for lasting change, for finding that newfound freedom, one written word at a time?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit us at agl911.com for more products and information. A Guiding Light, 12-Step Recovery for Lasting Change.